Dr. Wandell. So I started thinking, silly stories, funny stories, what am I going to say? And then this morning at church, I'm sitting over here and it just starts coming to me. So what I wrote on the back of the bulletin this morning. In this world and in each life there are blessings, and my life has been blessed because Josh Wandell is my very good friend. When I was asked to introduce him, my mind went to where it usually goes, and that's thinking in my kindergarten brain the kind of lessons I'm going to teach. And one word kept coming to my mind: will. Strong-willed, certainly he is. Willing, he's always willing. And willpower, without a doubt. Then, I thought I would break it down into my kindergarten mind. You see, in the word will, when talking about Dr. Wandell, the W is for wisdom. Josh became principal at my school in 2007. And during that time, he got his doctorate degree, and he became Dr. Wandell. But I think he would agree that his wisdom truly began after the diagnosis, as he became closer and closer to the Lord. I is for inspire or inspiration. You see, Josh was diagnosed with ALS in the summer of 2013, but he kept on working as our principal until 2015. So I have witnessed firsthand how he has inspired a whole school, a whole community to live faith over fear. And then the two L's. L is leader. Josh was my boss, but he led our school by example. First and foremost, he showed us the importance to love our students, and he never, ever let an opportunity go by to share Christ with others. And then the last L in the word will is love. We all love Dr. Wandell. He's easy to love. And he shows love in his life each and every day. First, his love for his family, the love for others, his unconditional love for the students at our school. But most of all, the love of the Lord that's always been in his heart.
Amen.
So it is with great pride and love that I introduce my dear friend, Dr. Josh Wandell.
Well, you must be hard up for a speaker to ask a guy to speak who has no voice. I assume you all know I have ALS. What is ALS? ALS. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive motor neuron disease that results in the inability of the brain to initiate muscle movement. People diagnosed with ALS generally lose the ability to walk, talk, eat, then breathe, leading to their death in 2 to 4 years. From the time someone is diagnosed to the time of death, patients experience total body paralyzation, while their brain and thought process are left completely intact, trapped in an otherwise perfectly healthy body. As motor neurons degenerate, they can no longer send impulses to the muscle fibers that normally result in muscle movement. Early symptoms of ALS often include increasing muscle weakness, especially involving the arms and legs, speech, swallowing, or breathing. When muscles no longer receive the messages from the motor neurons that they require to function, the muscles begin to atrophy, become smaller. Limbs begin to look thinner as muscle tissue atrophies. Doctors and scientists still don't know the cause of ALS, but are working hard on finding a treatment and cure. Soldiers, athletes, and healthy, active individuals are more likely to get this disease, and there is nothing you can do to prevent it. While there is no cure, Riluzole, The only FDA-approved drug for ALS increases survival for typical patients by a short period of time, around 2 to 3 months. What you see in front of you is a $39,000 wheelchair. Yes, almost 40 grand, and it's not 4-wheel drive and won't barely go 5 miles an hour. This aluminum pole, $1,400. It's holding a Surface Pro cord. Then that little cord connects to an iGaze mobile mini. It's smaller than that little bar for the Wii. It was $2,000. I gave you all this information so I can say thank you to everyone who came to my race, or bought a shirt, bracelet, hat, and also everyone who prays for me. Thank you for inspiring me. Hear me out. This is important. Make no mistake, I'm not sick. It's easy for someone to view me as being sick, I guess. I mean, if you saw me getting baked or choking on my own drool, it might have you saddened, and I assume it's easier to view me as sick. But I am far from it. Perhaps one of the hardest things about living with ALS is people treating you like you're sick, or worse, dying. I will admit sometimes I'd like the sympathy of a sick person, but I'd rather just be a high-maintenance dad. It's really hard to be around people that feel sorry for me, or worse, verbalize it. Sure, I may be more full of love, more tolerant, and more at peace than I ever was, but you shouldn't be saddened by that. Instead, celebrate it with me. I would love to be able to hug my kids, make dinner for my wife, or pick my nose, but I can't. I don't think about it, so neither should you. I don't mean to minimize the amount of work that goes into keeping me alive, but the hard work makes the good times so much more rewarding. Please pray with me. Dear God, I come to you right now confessing that I'm not worthy to be sitting here right now. But God, you are holy and more than worthy. I ask God that you hide me behind your cross and that these people will hear you and not me. God, I pray that for the next 20 minutes you open our hearts and minds and prepare us to receive your blessing. Bless them, Lord, in your mighty name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into questions. Even though I think the last time you and I did this, it was you busted on me for about 30 minutes up there. I won't do that to you. Well, it crossed my mind, but I won't. Even though he said, "What are you wearing tonight, boy?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to wear shorts and a t-shirt." I thought he would join me, but then in typical fashion, he wears penny loafers, khakis, and a polo. I'm surprised he didn't show up in a suit. You thought about it, didn't you? Yeah, I know. All right. So question number 1. You got these in order with me? All right. What are some of the biggest challenges that you face daily?
Thanks, Shirley, for starting with something negative. I guess we should get this out of the way. I honestly try not to focus on the challenges and instead focus on being as normal as possible. But daily challenges are inevitable with this disease. It is very hard to have an itch you can't scratch because I can no longer move my arms. I struggle because every time I feed through my tube in my stomach, I get sick for about an hour. On a good morning, it takes 2 hours to get everything done and get me in my chair. Daily, we count on a nurse and caregiver to take care of me throughout the week. So if something goes wrong with one of them, I get stuck in the bed all day. Not to mention the challenges of so many people in and out of our house. I am blessed to have 24-hour care, however that means I never have alone time with Tabitha, and that puts a strain on our marriage. When I do get out of the house, I have to have a driver and someone sit in the back with me in case vent pops off. Daily I have to battle with all I have to keep my lungs clear. That is done by wearing a vest twice a day for 20 minutes that vibrates my chest. Then I use a cough assist to cough up assertions. I also get a catheter stuck down my throat 20 times a day to suction the mucus from my lungs. I think that is enough whining. Let's move on early.
I thought this was going to not be the turn out that way. let's get on to some positive stuff right here. Some of your favorites, one of your favorite things, or maybe probably the favorite thing that you do right now, is you get to run in these races with Justin and Mr. Brown, who's in soccer. So if you guys see him, tell him he skipped out for soccer. But
Thomas is here.
yeah, Thomas ran not too long ago with him. There's plenty of people that push you in the wheelchair in the races. So when you're running in the races, what are some of your favorite things that you get to do there?
My favorite part is the competition. I love to blow past people. I like to try to improve our time each race. I love to hear the people pushing me breathe hard and grunt and moan. Even though he uses non-church words. I really like themed races where you get to dress up. I enjoy the sounds of feet pounding against the pavement. That sounded really poetic. You're welcome, Hurley.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I think, Justin, didn't you run the race here recently where this person just rode up and stopped right in front of you guys at the finish line and you guys just trucked that person? You know, don't you? Yeah, this guy tried to beat Wandell, so he was running. Brown came to school today and told me about it. He was running, they were pushing him, and the guy tried to beat Wandell because he didn't want to be beat by a guy in a wheelchair. So he burst past Wandell and he stopped right after the finish line. Well, in typical Wandell, Brown, Justin, whoever else was pushing, that guy got clipped majorly for stopping at the finish line. That's great. That's typical you right there, isn't it? Yeah. Don't beat me. I'll take him out. That was good. What keeps you running in these races?
I continue running because I love to compete. However, there is a much deeper purpose that drives me. I want to share a story to help describe this purpose. Around the 1st of March, Team Wandell traveled to Lexington to conquer the Bluegrass Half Marathon. What is ironic is this was TJ's idea and he faked an injury and we found out why about halfway through. This course was brutal. Back to my purpose. Suddenly a lady asked my team if we needed help and of course my 3-person team said sure. Long story short, she was a trauma nurse and this was first long race in straight. God sent an angel to comfort me and my team. Furthermore, after the race she told me she came out to run this race for herself but finished the race because of me. You see, every race, I am the only adult being pushed. Everyone else is pushing children. At first I felt really embarrassed and sometimes I still have to battle those same feelings. So why do I continue to race? Every single race someone says to me and my team, you guys are such an inspiration. Every race people see our motto, faith over fear, on our shirts and on my card. So I continue to race to spread God's word. I continue to race so my team and pushers can be praised for selflessness. I continue to run to inspire others to run. So Hurley, when are you going to start running?
Just, Tabitha, did you not proofread this? I should have known it was going to turn into this. We'll talk about it later. So where have you seen God's faithfulness in this journey with ALS, and where have you seen His faithfulness most recently?
I see God's faithfulness daily. I can't list everything because I think B. Hurley wants to get home to watch the Yankees. ALS, as you can see, takes away a lot of my abilities. In spite of that, God has given me a peace that is beyond explanation. I don't ever worry about the cure because I know the worst thing this disease can do to me is kill me. And if and when that happens, I know where I am going, and that is so exciting. I believe God has prepared me for this challenge my whole life. Statistically, I should have been a failure. Life for me never seemed easy to others. However, God surrounded me with people who loved me. I failed Him many times, such as having a baby outside of wedlock at age 21, or getting divorced. But God stuck by me. matured me, and made me the man I am today. Most recently, God's faithfulness has been revealed through others. I have been blessed with many new friends, many of whom I go to lunch with throughout the week. The Hurley family landscaped right outside my door. My friends Jared, Daniel, Jody, and my father-in-law built a retaining wall in our backyard. I am blessed with encouraging cards in the mail every week. Thanks to random generous monetary gifts and raise funds, we have been able to keep a caregiver to assist daily. My East Side family has and always will be a blessing.
What is one thing that God is doing or teaching you in your life right now at this moment? All right, we'll go to the next one. If you could say one thing to people who are facing some hard times, what would you say to them?
To everyone facing a hard time in life, which we all will, I say find a friend who walks close to God and share your struggle. The Bible tells us God is near the brokenhearted, and God has comforted me through my relationship with Him and other people. Fight with all you have, and when you can't fight anymore, let someone fight for you. I want to share with you a few verses I cling to in the midst of my struggles. Romans 12 and 13. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Exodus chapter 14 verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. James chapter 1 verses 2 through 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. I want to speak to the students for a second. I want you to hear me out on this. Cling to what will last. Put your time, money, energy, and heart into what will last. Not sports. My career ended at age 19 due to a devastating knee injury. Not your husband or wife, because if statistics are right, my wife will lose her husband before the age of 40. Not your parents, because if statistics are right, my daughter, stepdaughter, and stepson will lose their father before they get out of high school. At age 38, I can tell you the only thing that will last. The only one person that won't let you down is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Pursue Him relentlessly. Love is the key to life. Life is short. Very short. Death is imminent. Embrace it. ALS is the platform God provided me to spread His love.
Amen.
All right, last one right here. As you know, you and I probably talked about this before. When people face hard times, we've talked about people just walk away from Jesus and they don't follow, or they lose their faith or whatever. But what keeps you moving with your faith, Wandell?
What keeps my faith moving is how God keeps showing, revealing His faithfulness. I experienced this mainly through relationships. When I was at Eastside, I taped a sign on the faculty bathroom doors that said it's not about programs, it's about people. I believe that to be true about the church as well, and we are the church. It's not about your Sunday school curriculum or how many Bible verses you can recite. It's about loving others. It's about relationships and how we treat other people. What keeps my faith moving is first and foremost my relationship with Jesus Christ. We are called to be servants, and that gives each and every one of us a purpose to live.
All right. Well, that's all the questions that he and I prepared together. I will say this. He is my bouncing board at school. I'm not going to lie. He gets very distinct, vengeful text when I need it. And he always responds with words of wisdom because he's been there and done that. And I greatly, on my end, appreciate that from him. He's a dear friend that is always willing to listen. And I truly appreciate that. The other part I appreciate the most is when you always ask him, hey, how are you doing? He never answers you except with, no, how are you doing? It's never about him. It's always about you. And I think that is a really neat aspect that he has created. So I get, you got anything else? No? You're good? Oh. Oh no. He's tight. Wizzy, can you cut this thing off? Jeez. Hey Phil, you might need to mute that thing up there for a second, I think. This is directed at me, I'm sure.
Well, are you going to run with us early?
Amen.
Don't clap, you have to run too.
Didn't ask me.
Alright, I told you we'll talk about this later, okay? This is not the spot to put, but you just put me on the spot, didn't you? No, well, here it goes again. This is definitely one you should read it on, Philip. Oh, it's bad. This is supposed to end well, you know, like you're not really ending it well.
The stool you were sitting on in the back is about to collapse.
Man, alright, so now we're gonna end it. Yeah, that would be a good ending process on me, thanks. Thank you. One other quick story about Wandell and Brody, of course. We went over to start well, I didn't start it. Dayla went over to kind of talk to Wandell and Tabitha about the blog, and Brody couldn't figure out how Wandell was speaking to him. Because he was going through the Bluetooth, he kept saying, hello Brody, hello Brody. Brody's like, kept looking around like, where is this voice coming from? So he starts getting closer to Wandell, and he starts yelling at Wandell, like, hello! As close as he could be. And I'm like, Brody, Wandell can hear you. He's like, huh? I'm like, he can hear you, you don't have to yell, he's talking through this. But now, his favorite thing is to say, where's Wandell? He wants to go see Wandell all the time because they have a ramp that Brody goes sliding down on his knees, crashing into Wandell every time we go see him. So that was pretty fun. Brody enjoys going to see him because Wandell does really silly things with Brody that he probably shouldn't teach him.
Thank you, Southside, for allowing me to come share again.